My ungrateful adoptive son chose his people over us and refused to invite us to his wedding, so I canceled everything we paid for his big day. About 19 years ago, me and my husband had been driving on a highway, back from a small vacation. When along a particularly long stretch of road, we spotted a little boy just sitting by the side of the road. Like I mentioned, there was nothing around for miles, and no cars close to where the boy was, so we decided to stop and see if everything was okay. When we got closer to the boy, let's call him Jason, it was very easy to see he was dirty and malnourished, since the only thing he had on were some diapers. He was so small it didn't look like he could be older than 3. Later found out he was actually 5. We asked him why he was alone, and he told us that mommy and daddy put him here and told him to wait. We did the sensible thing and brought him back to town to the nearest police station. To make a long story short, CPS was called. We discovered his parents were some druggies that were on the run from a felony. The only other relative Jason had was his grandmother, who was very mentally ill and couldn't take care of him, and we felt bad. He went into foster care soon after, but we felt bad for the kid and kept in touch with his caseworker. After a few months of discussions between ourselves, the caseworker, and some bureaucracy, we formally adopted Jason. About 3 years ago, Jason's parents were released from prison on parole. They contacted him not long after in hopes of reconnecting. Prior to that, they'd sent him a few odd letters here or there, but nothing really substantial. At first, he was hesitant to talk to them, but ended up caving and meeting them for lunch one day. I'll admit that a part of me was a bit jealous and apprehensive of what could happen, but I could see that it really was something that my son wanted to do. So for his sake, I swallowed those and supported him through it. It wasn't very long, about 3 months I think, that he started to pull away from us. At first, I chalked it up to him being excited to actually talk to his bio parents after so long, talk about what had been going on in his life, spend some time with them, etc. It started to bother me when he'd cancel plans with us at the last minute because mom had an emergency, or dad really needs me to help him with something today, or whatever other excuse he could come up with. He used to come over to our house at least once a week, call every day or so, but now we were lucky if he even came by that month. Again, I thought that was just temporary, that he was just excited, and soon enough he'd start spending some time with us again. We were overjoyed when he invited us over for dinner one night. It was supposed to be a family gathering, us and his bio parents and his girlfriend at the time. I wasn't exactly keen on meeting the people that had left my son for the dead on the side of the road, but decided to give them the benefit of the doubt, thinking maybe they'd atoned and changed. Besides, he's our son, and we love him. We had to at least try. To say the diner was a disaster is an understatement. His bio mom was extremely rude to my husband the entire night, making passive-aggressive, homophobic, and racist remarks every chance she got. His father was much the same. It all came to head when she straight up called us the F word and threw a glass at my husband. A screaming match followed, and we left soon after. The next day, Jason apologized profusely the next day and promised they'd never do something like that again. I told him neither me and my husband wanted to have anything to do with them and would appreciate it if he understood that. He seemed to, but continued to pull away the next few months, and that leads to what happened last week. Jason proposed to his girlfriend about 9 months back and has been preparing for the wedding since. Of course, we were overjoyed for him, but a few months went by and no invitation came. Every time we asked, Jason would say they hadn't been sent out yet and change the subject. Well, last week my husband saw a Twitter post from one of Jason's friends with the invitation in hands. We confronted Jason about it the next time he came over, only for him to drop the bomb on us that we hadn't been invited. We asked why, and he said his parents didn't want us there and wouldn't come if we did. I was fucking furious. I asked him how could he choose those pieces of trash over us. His answer? They understand me better. They're my people. At this point, my husband was crying, asking how could he do this. I've only ever been truly angry a few times in life, and this moment managed to top all of them. I threw him out right then and there and told him to never come back, that he wasn't our son anymore. I spent the rest of the day hugging my husband and trying to calm him down. The next day, I canceled everything we paid for the wedding, which was basically everything important, even the ones we couldn't get a refund on. Of course, Jason had the gall to call and scream at me, asking how I could do that to him. Where would he find replacements for a wedding that was supposed to happen only a few months from now? I told him I didn't give a poop and said, maybe you should ask those 2 leeches you call parents for some help. 19 fucking years of my goddamn life spent raising and loving a kid that I considered my own son, only to be treated like garbage, giving blood, sweat, and tears so he would have a good life, all the love we could possibly give, and that's what we get as a reward.